Joining me now from Southern California, founder and CEO of Crazy Raccoons LLC, aka the Zip app, Rick Militi. Rick, before we begin with the questions that we pose to your app users, in brief, what is the demographic overall after now 3 or 4 years of use? What's the overall demographic? Where is it leaning these days?
Well, we have a lot of men. Men tend to like the app, and I think that's because they're a little bit elusive when it comes to answering questions in public. So, you know how men are. They like to be a little bit more private, and their ego sometimes doesn't want them to answer questions in front of other people. So they like to do it anonymously, which is what this app is all about, being anonymous.
All right, so let's go to question number one. It's pretty basic. And involves the President of the United States and the Congress. Who is doing a better job of doing the work of the people, Donald Trump or the Democrats in Congress? The results are interesting when you look, again, at the males versus females.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, we have a lot of men. We also have a very conservative base. And again, that's a result of us being the only app, or one of the only probably 2 or 3 people in the whole world that predicted that Donald Trump would be the president. So with that, we found many conservatives ran to the app and downloaded the app because they found a place where they can have conversation with many of their own people that they like to talk to. When it comes to this kind of a question, as far as who is more a man of the people or a person of the people, whether it's the Democrats or Donald Trump, you're going to see that Donald Trump is very, very favored in his own base because he has done what he said he's going to do, as you just alluded to. And he's also, because of the way he speaks, the way he interacts with people, I think the way he tweets, the language he uses, I think he associates and relates more to the everyday Joe.
Question number two has to do with, I call on this program, the crime of the century, and this would involve the Obama administration. Should Attorney General William Barr appoint a special counsel to investigate the Obama administration's effort to affect the outcome of the 2016 election? And essentially, this is asking, hey, don't the American people deserve answers to unanswered questions?
Yeah, again, his base, again, wants this to happen. I think that they feel that since he was persecuted, as many of them feel, with the Mueller report and Mueller investigation, they would like to see fair play. And I think when you talk about anyone who's American, they like to see any game played on a level playing field. So you're talking about something that could be opposite of what just happened, and Americans, especially the conservatives, feel that this should happen.
And question number three has to do with what the House Judiciary Committee is trying to tackle right about now, impeachment. Will the Democrats in the House file articles of impeachment against President Trump? I guess if you're looking at these results, men believe it's more likely than women.
Yeah, I think that there's a sense that there still is a lot of spite and anger about President Trump being elected. I don't think very many Democrats or liberals are letting it go or ever will let it go. I think when you talk about this, I think it's knee-jerk, it's emotional. You certainly know how hard it is to impeach a president. It's one of the most difficult things to do in all of politics, and it's just a bunch of hyperbole, in my opinion.
Next question has to do with the election coming up in 2020. And it's a pretty simple question. Are you more likely to vote Democrat or Republican in 2020? And it's interesting, it's not surprising to me, but it is interesting that more females, not a ton, but more females identify with Democrats.
Yeah, I think, we do have, we're not 100% conservative in our base, the Zip app. We feel that there's about 20% of the users on our app are either liberal or Democrat. So when you see numbers below 20%, what you're seeing is liberals or Democrats that are leaning towards conservative or Republican issues. And we see that very often. That's how we were able to predict the victory that Donald Trump had in his election.
And you did so accurately in 2016. And so now we project in the next question, 2020. And will Donald Trump be reelected in 2020? It's interesting here. We just have the totals here at 97%. But there's, if you break down men versus women, there's gender unanimity here.
Yeah, it's absolutely equal in this sense. And again, what you're seeing, now this is different than the last questions in the sense that this is more opinion, really true opinion. It's more, the last question was how are you going to vote? This one is who do you think is going to win? So what's interesting here is when you look at the 20% of liberal or Democrats that we have using the app, they might not vote for him, but they probably feel that he's probably going to win again.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.